I've had the Kia Niro now for 13 months, and it has performed as I expected. It's a $40,000 vehicle, and it meets a $40,000 vehicle criteria in my mind for comfort, safety, ride, all the bells and whistles. If I were to give it a star rating, I'd say it's probably 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars for the money and what you're getting. Now, I did do a lot of research for hybrid electric vehicles before I bought it. So if there were some real issues that I had problems with, part of it would be on me. But in this last year, there have not been any mechanical issues, and everything has worked as advertised. Learning all of the different bells and whistles. I'm sitting there reading through a text, and all of a sudden there's a chime, and it's like, dummy, you know, the car ahead of you is already pulled forward. Get your butt in gear. I didn't know it did that. And there are a lot of safety features that irritate many people with, you know, you get too close to the lane and it's dinging and chiming, and of course there's the steering that kind of, and you get used to it. And then you look at other people and you say, hey, that guy is like, half his car is in the bike lane. He could be wiping people out. But if I did that, my car would be chiming at me. So those things can be annoying for some people, but really they do improve safety. When I get home from the travels, I already have the wall charger transformer plugged in. I just leave it plugged in all the time. And then I have it in a little box, so if I do need to go someplace overnight where I'm able to charge, I can just put it in the back of the boot or the utility area. So get home after maybe driving, maybe only just a couple miles, get the car unlocked, undo the door, stick it in. I've got the automatic charger, scheduled charging all set up, which is a little funky. It's kind of, you have to have a start time and an end time. It was kind of hard to understand, but I started at midnight, and if I'm really low, it may take 6 hours to charge, but by 7 o'clock in the morning, I got a full charge of 26 miles to zip around town and do the errands. And that has allowed me to virtually run primarily all electric, especially during the summertime. During the winter, the petrol engine does need to come on to heat the cabin, heat up the coolant that warms the air. But most of the time, I'm just running on, you know, all battery. So it's been really good, and you just fall into a good clean pattern, and that's how you save money. Of course, there's the backup chime. That irritates many people. I do not live in an apartment complex. I have learned to live with it. Actually, it doesn't even, I don't even pay attention. You know, I was, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, driving a big, you know, delivery truck, and people need to get out of my way if they hear me with the backup, because I'm getting on the road, baby. So as you can see, I have driven almost 7,000 miles, and the average fuel economy is almost 85 miles to the gallon. Most of my driving is in all electric. We do some petrol. So we did a 166 mile trip, 3 hours in the car the other day, and we averaged 51.8 miles per the gallon in primarily hybrid mode. That was on the freeway most of the time. So around town, the hybrid's going to be a little bit less, but it's just really incredible how the hybrid with the battery really helps out. And you can see I'm a pretty casual driver. 81% economical, 19% normal, and 0 aggressive. I'm just an old man. energy flow, temperature. So right now we're charged up at 26 miles and 252 miles in gasoline and half a tank. And I have filled up maybe 4 times, 5 times in the last year. So most of my driving around, the energy has been from plugging in overnight, getting that full charge over here. You can see. And that's worked well. The only real issue I have with this instrument cluster is when I bring down the steering wheel into the position that I like, it blocks the speedometer. So that's a little cumbersome, but otherwise very comfortable. And the car is, you know, working as advertised, and everyone so far has been very comfortable in the seats. The heated seats are wonderful. The ventilated seats are terrific. I normally have, during the winter, this little part open for the extra light that it provides. With this dark interior, you can kind of lose things easily. The sunroof, when it's open, just doesn't, it just makes too much noise. I don't know if that's a function of the design or just maybe all of them do that. But everything is fairly well laid out. It is kind of awkward to get the phone into the wireless charging, but that has worked very well. I figured out all of the, you know, the instrument cluster, so I've got everything pretty much after a year. Really, I kind of know where everything's at, and it's very smooth sailing, especially when you put it into the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control. Man, you set the speed and how close you want to be to the vehicle in front of you, and it is super nice. The Bluetooth for the phone going through the speakers is just excellent quality. People can hear me, I can hear them. So everything is really well laid out and has worked very well. No complaints. But the car has done really, really well over these last 13 months. Now, if you look at social media and some of the other chat boards and whatnot, there's always people posting about, I can't open up this latch, or my battery's always going dead, or how do I do this? Half of those criticisms and problems can be alleviated if people would just read the owner's manual and take a little bit of time to become acquainted with the car. There are also comments about how do I get the most out of the vehicle in terms of, miles per gallon. How should I leave it? All battery, go automatic, go hybrid? Man, this car is super, super smart. It knows what to do to get the highest miles per gallon. So driven about 7,000 miles. And most of my around town driving is all EV, so that really helps pump up my miles per gallon. I can assume that I'm going to get about 55 to 57 miles per gallon when I have kind of mixed driving and I'm on the freeway. All hybrid, about 50 miles to the gallon on the freeway. Around town, probably 40, 45. If I have to get into the EV mode, which is rare. I mean, obviously, if I'm only driving 7,000 miles, I'm not doing a lot of driving. But the car really knows how to handle itself. The only time I had an issue with performance was going up a very steep slope when we were going over to Mammoth Lakes. And the battery just got down to 0. So there was no battery to assist in the propulsion of the car. So it was all on the 1.6 liter engine. And it was going up that hill. It was having a rough time. So if you knew that you were getting into that, and I guess you can maybe program something into your navigation system and maybe it would do something. But if you know you're going to be in that situation, obviously that's the time to think about getting your battery up to over 10% or 15%. Of course, the Kia Niro is advertised as a utility vehicle, and I do utilize the function of this back area. You know, I've flipped down both the seats. I have this little blue padding in here, which is, I think, mainly for camping, because I'll put bricks and stones on there and haul stuff around. But I really like being able to flip those seats down, fill up the back with whatever it is that I'm hauling around. And there is utility to the vehicle, and it has worked really well, really well. I don't really have any complaints. People are still comfortable in the back seat from what I've been told. I don't ride back here too often. Plenty of leg room. I have found a good comfortable seating position in the front seat, and it has memory. You know, you can change. Two different people can have two different settings, but for all the driving that I've done, I do not get any back aches or leg aches or anything of that nature. The wheels look good. Yeah. Don't have any problems with them. Yeah, the car handles well. But you know, I get home, I plug it in. When I look at the money I have saved, I'm about 19 cents per kilowatt hour right now through PG&E here in California versus gasoline at $4 a gallon. I've saved a lot of money by being primarily in pure EV, and even in the hybrid mode, 40, 50 miles to the gallon. I mean, that saves a lot of gas. It has been comfortable on really long hauls. You put in that adaptive cruise control, and man, it's just, you're just having to watch the people around you. Everything is very nice and stable. All of the little radars work. I just have not had many problems. Good utility on the car. Yeah, sure, there's a few things I would like. To get the most comfortable driving position, I have to have the steering wheel down. And so whenever I get out, I have to, you know, unlatch it and lift it up. Hey, it'd be nice to have if that was electric, you know, so it just lifted up on its own when I put it into park. Okay, that's a $50,000, $60,000 vehicle. That's not this one. There's other little goofy things that a higher priced vehicle will give you in terms of comfort. But when I think of the ride quality, noise level, just being comfortable in the car, it's really up there, I feel, in the quality standards, and it's made me happy. I do not have any buyer's remorse whatsoever. And I think it will work for a lot of different people in a lot of different families in a lot of different situations. So after a year of having the Kia Niro, I'm happy. And if this Kia Niro plug-in hybrid 2020 EX Premium version is any benchmark or standard for quality of Kia, they make a very well put together car, up there with anything that's made in the United States. So I don't think you can have too many problems. So for my 1-year Kia review, I'm Kevin Canals. Thank you so much for watching.